Page 2 of IMM1294. My name is Sridhar. I'm from Immigration Consulting and I'm a registered Canadian immigration consultant. Um, I have covered the IMM 1294 in four or five different parts, and the part one is already there on YouTube and my Instagram channel. If you haven't seen that, you might want to see that first before coming to this video. In this, we are covering page 2 of the same IMM 1294 form, which is generally used for application for a study permit made outside Canada. So this is the page 1 which we have already covered in the other video, and now we are starting off with the page 2. We're continuing from the personal details section which were asked in the previous page. In this, they have asked, have you been previously married or in a common law relationship? It's a yes or no answer. Um, Common law, by definition, you might want to look that up. If you've lived with a person for a year, been a couple and been living with a person, you might want to look that up and see if that situation fits you. Now, marriage, if you're divorced, you would at this point of time you would still say, have you been previously married? Yes, and then you would put your spouse's information here. If you are divorced once and now you have remarried, then too, in the previous section you would put your current spouse's name. In this section you would put your previous spouse's name. So the answer would be yes, and so on and so forth. So it typically depends on your situation. The next question is, what is the language? And what is your native language? A list of languages are given. If in India, Hindi or Tamil or even Swahili, whatever is your native language, you might want to say that. And then there is the question whether you are able to communicate in English, French, both, neither. Since you're a student, I would assume that neither would never be an answer. It would either be English or French or both, right? And once you answer that, suppose you answer both, then you would have one more question to answer, which is in which language you are most at ease. So if you're a French speaker, a fluent French speaker, and English isn't so good, you would have to say French or vice versa. The next question is part D of the same question. Have you taken a test? So if you have taken an English language test, which is a PTE, IELTS, CELPIP, or TCF, if it's French, TEF, any of those tests, then you might want to say yes in this, because you're a student. Generally, English language forms the basis of your admission as well. So you might want to say yes if you have, as long as you've taken the test and you have the test report. Say yes and attach your test report to the application, as long as you are applying under the non-SDS category. If you're applying under SDS category, anyway you would have to include your IELTS test report into that application. Passport. Straightforward. Have your passport number ready. Enter that here. Country or territory of issue. So India, if you're an Indian living in India, Indian citizen, India. Many times the question comes, sometimes, your passport, if somebody is traveling out of India or working in some other country, then your passport is issued in that country. For example, I've seen passports from Abu Dhabi, Singapore, Australia being issued there, but they're basically Indian passports. So country or territory of issue, it means which country is giving you that passport. The country that is giving you the passport is India, regardless of where it was issued. So the answer would be India in this case. Issue date, expiry date, straightforward. Now, once you choose these, unless you're choosing something related to Taiwan, the rest of the sections would gray off, as long as, so Taiwan in this case, Israeli in this case, it would gray off if you choose any of the countries. For example, if I choose Indonesia, the next two questions, 5 and 6, is grayed off. So there is nothing to click here. Okay, the next question is national identity. Each country has its own national identity, ensure you put your number, document number. The country again is in whichever country has issued it for you, that country, issue date and expiry date if it has one. For Indian students, I would say I normally include the Aadhaar card number, uh, the country of issue being India. If Aadhaar has a issue date, it is written across on your Aadhaar card, and the expiry date, it doesn't have an expiry date. Okay. The next question: do you have a Are you a lawful permanent resident of United States, or what is called the green card? Are you a green card holder? Yes or a no question. If it's yes, you would have to give the rest of the details to them. If it's a no, then there is nothing more to do. Everything else is grayed off. Now, the final question in this section, in this particular video, is the contact information. Two addresses: current is the mailing, and then is the residential. In many cases, both are the same. Your main address, the one that your passport carries, or the one where you're living currently, that becomes your main address as well as your mailing address, your residential address as well as your mailing address. In very rare cases, in not rare, but in some cases they are different. Suppose your hometown is in Bangalore and you're currently living in Mumbai because you're working here for the last 2 years, but your primary residence is still Bangalore, right? In that case, you may have two addresses to fill in. One, the current mailing address being where you are currently, that is Bombay, and your original residential address or your original home being in Bangalore. So that would be your residential address. Now, once you fill this out and say, let's say it's Bombay, and you fill this out and you say yes, then there is nothing more to fill. The officer knows that this is the only address. If you say no, then you get an option to enter the second address here. So this depends on the person. This depends on case to case. I hope this video was of some help to you. Needless to say, if you need my help, you can always reach out to me. I have given my contact information in the description below. You can take a paid consultation and ask me questions about your profile, or I can handhold you through the entire admission as well as the visa process. Once again, this is Sridhar from Krish Immigration Consulting, and we are based in Mumbai, India. Have a great day. Thank you.